today's topic, essential question, learning goals, key vocab that we got going today. I'll give y'all a couple minutes to write this down. Keep in mind that anything we do, as far as our Smart Notebook is concerned, if I don't give you enough time to write it down and or what you think is enough time, I can always go back during our break and you can write down anything that you don't get written down. Okay? So if you think I go too fast, you're probably right, I probably do. So everybody got that written down? Good. Okay. All right. 15 again. Oh, y'all at 16 now, aren't you? 15, 16, somewhere in there. What's that day? Today is the 4th. Okay? Today is the 4th. How were the first few days? Pretty rough. Me too. I want to do that. Well, I'm recording this, so I'll go public and say this. There's people I don't like either, but I'm just going to let them remain anonymous. I'll tell you what, though. You don't know who's a douchebag? No, that Chad dude on Bachelor in Paradise. Dude is a douche. All right? There's certain things that you have to do when you're married to like get like the whole shared TV thing. What I have to do is watch the Bachelor in Paradise. Well, I sit there with my iPad and my wife doesn't ask questions about, like, hey, why do you keep looking at all these football websites? I don't sit there and ask questions about Bachelor in Paradise. But I started watching it last night. And I was like, oh, dude, you just called out girl, what? He shouldn't have an arm. I was like, sure. He is. I think she was born without a left arm. So he called her like a nut up or something like that. Yeah. But then in the fall, see, so like The Bachelor comes on in like February-ish maybe. January, February. We have to watch it January till now. But then I get to watch football from September through whenever it is. All right, everybody get that written down? Okay, I'm going to give you about 20 seconds. Okay, what we're going to do today is really boring. Okay, I got to start you out somewhere. So here's what we got. Essential question. What's the key vocab words associated with geometry? Got to start you somewhere. So that's where we got today. Okay? There's going to be things that we talk about today and topics, vocab words that we are going to talk about the whole semester. So I've got to introduce them to you today and then get with you. So our learning goal, we're just trying to learn a little bit of the basics of geometry. Okay? You say where to sit, folks. Right? So throughout the day, you will go and you'll see some of these key vocab words. If you want to start writing this down, you can. Let's see here. Bow. Let's see. 3, you're going to be in that. No, I'm sorry. You're being active back there. Okay. Yeah, I would. There's going to be several examples today. It's going to be one of those days where you're writing down a lot of definitions. All right. A point. A point has no dimensions. It is a location on a plane. Don't know what the plane is yet, but we're going to define that in a second. It is represented by a dot. Really tough one. Okay. Point. There's my point. It typically points. They'll have a letter associated with them to name the point. Okay. All right. What's your favorite letter? J. Good deal. There's point J. Okay. Well, there we go. Simple enough. Leave it that easy. Leave it at that. That is the point. A line. The line has one dimension. It's an infinite set of points represented by a line with two arrowheads that extends without end. Okay. A couple of key words that we got to define. What does infinite mean? Goes on forever. Goes on forever, right? In this class, goes on forever gray. Okay. Infinite for here, we'll talk about as many as possible. Okay. So I'll define that right there. As many as possible. Okay. Okay. We had point J, right? Earlier. Over here, we got point L. A line passes through those points. Oops, big points now. Okay. Passes through those points. And it's got two arrowheads. It extends forever. Okay. The arrows are very key. Arrows are very key because that tells me that that line does not stop on either point J or point L. Right? There's another thing about geometry that you will need to know. I get this a lot. Okay? Geometrically, there is no such thing as a line that isn't straight. Every line is straight. Okay? Every line is straight. There's no such thing as a crooked line in geometry. That's what we call an angle, or when two lines come together. Okay? Two line segments. So if we get that out of the way now, we're in a lot better shape. Okay? So far, so good, right? Points and lines. Yes, sir. Parabola, remember? We said first day, I wasn't going to do that to you, okay? All right, it's all good. Okay, those are, remember we had linear equations and quadratic equations. Linear equations, always a straight line, right? Quadratic equations is how we got a parabola, which is why it was shaped like a U or an N, okay? All right, I'm going to move on. Any questions so far? Pretty simple. Okay, plane. Plane has two dimensions. It extends without end. It says it's often represented by a parallelogram. Okay, I will draw for right now what I want you guys to know about a plane. We have point J. We have point L. We got point M. A plane has to have at least 3 sets of points in it. We'll talk about that again in the coming days about why that's true. But just know, a plane has to have at least 3 sets of points. That's what gives it 2 dimensions. Okay? Right? The line, I don't know if you wrote that down or not, but should have. A line's got 1 dimension, and it connects one point to another, right? A plane has how many dimensions? 2, okay? Because it has 2 dimensions, it's got to have at least 3 points, right? Now, none of that should make sense. So if you're confused, that's good. Okay, we got to learn a lot more about it before we put it together. A line segment. Line segment's pretty simple, okay? We had our 2 points. We had J and L. J, connect it with L, and stop right there. What is missing from a line to a line segment? What? Okay, and how do I symbolize that? The arrows. Okay, so the dots tell me there's a definite beginning and end, right? That's the major difference in a line and a line segment. A line goes on forever. Okay, line segments have definite beginnings and ends. Any questions so far? Really boring day. I told y'all it'd be really boring. This way, you don't have any misconceptions when you go home tonight. You're like, how was school? You're like, oh, I didn't have it. Okay, good. Cool. All right, we'll start our expectations with. Okay. Olympics are next week. Some of those people had low expectations. What time now, everyone? You're not going to be able to, but it's okay. All right. Still keep them low. Do I need more time? Go. Hooray! Oh, one of my favorites. I think the line segment is my favorite, but array is one of my favorites. Okay, array has one endpoint and extends without end in one direction. We've been using J and L. It's been working so far. Let's keep using it. If I start at J, go to and through L, I've created an array. Okay, I'll start at J. That is my endpoint. I go to and through L. Okay, that is a array. I would symbolize my array by saying J to and through L. J to and through L. So you guys are going to be driving soon. You got to talk about symbols. You're going to have to know what they are. Okay? Right? We can do the whole red light, green light, yellow light thing, but we're not going to do that because that's pretty elementary and this is a boring class. Okay? All right. I'm going to quiz you real quickly. See how much we're picking this up. What if I did this? What if I said, hey, here's point A, sorry, I'll do that next, okay? And if I start at J, go to and through L, is point A a part of that ray? No. Okay? No. If I start at J, go to and through L, point A is not a part of that. But if I start at L, go to and through J, is point A a part of that ray? Yes. Yes, because it does what? It goes to it and through it. Because that's on the same line, that's part of that ray. Okay? All right? Already picking up on it. Okay? Just some, I'm serious. Some of it's that easy. Okay? Ooh, two of my favorites again. We're not going to be doing too much of this just yet, but I thought I'd go ahead and introduce them to you day one because these are the crux of what we do in this class. Parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines. Lines that do not intersect and are coplanar. When it says that lines do not intersect, what does intersect mean? Very good. So when it says intersect, you think of it as cross. Okay? Or cross paths. And y'all hear this all the time. There's a wreck at the intersection of Highway 120 and 27. Right? There's a wreck in that an intersection. Two cars collided where those two roads intersect. Okay? Coplanar. Help me out. Coplanar. What do you think that means? Line equal together. What? Within the same plane, right? Okay? When you hear the word co, talk about within or the same. Co-workers, right? Co-workers. So that root word co means together or within the same. So this would be within the same plane. Sometimes, well, we'll get to the point where we talk about something called a transversal. You'll see how that works out again. Okay? All right. I don't have many more. I'm serious. I don't have many more than we got a break coming up. Perpendicular lines. Two lines that intersect to form a right angle. Okay? Now they're intersecting and they're going to form a right angle. So I'm going to ask y'all a question and see, for me, it gives me an idea of how much y'all know. Okay? Right there, have I told you that those lines form a right angle? Not based on the definition, but based on the diagram. Why not? And how do I represent a 90-degree angle? It is. It's a box with two lines intersecting. Yes, that is about as slanted of a line as I get. Okay? All right. Remember, you're going to see that right there represent a 90-degree angle. And that is absolutely crucial for us. Okay? If you don't see that box right there, it's not yet a 90-degree angle. Okay? Got me? That's a detail. Very important detail. Yes, sir. Awesome. You're getting to what we're going to be doing in late September, mid-September, which is proving that these are or are not perpendicular lines. Okay? That's what we learned in this class. Okay? Which is why I tell you, if there's no box, you can't assume that it's a 90-degree angle. You've got to be able to prove it to me. Okay? And we're not there yet. Okay? So I'm jumping ahead a little bit with this intro stuff, but it's got to set up what we're going to do later. Great question. Okay? But just know that if there's no box there, okay, that means that you've got to look at other aspects of the line, okay, and they will be able to tell you whether or not it actually is a 90-degree angle. That is geometry. And if you can get that principle, you all are going to do great in this class. Okay? Like A plus grade. Okay? So that's the goal. All right, I think this is the last one. Let me check. Yep, last one today. Okay? Angle and vertex. You should probably write them separately. Okay? Angle and vertex. You can flip it over and get another one tomorrow if you need to. Yep. If you're out of note space, then flip that thing over. There'll be plenty of stuff for you guys. Yes, sir. Sure. However y'all want to do it. Okay. However you want to structure it and staple it and have it together, you can do that. Okay. However y'all want to do it. All right. An angle is a figure formed by two rays or sides of a common endpoint called vertex. Yeah. That is a textbook definition that I hate. Okay? Here is a simpler definition of an angle. The intersection of a line, a ray, or a line segment. The intersection of a line, a ray, or a line segment. However you want to remember it. You want to remember it that way? You can. You remember it my way? You can. Intersection of a line, a ray, or a line segment. Right? That intersection, where those lines, rays, or line segments intersect, form an angle, and the common point of that angle is called the vertex. So let me give you a visual here. We started with point J, correct? Yes? We added point L, correct? We could say it's a ray, it's a line, or it's a line segment. But right now, let's make it a line. Okay? Make it a line. Everybody with me? I could have made that a line, a ray, or a line segment. We know that much, right? Just remember, you have a different ways, the end points, the front points, the arrows, and all that good stuff. Well, if another line comes along, we said M and let's do N because we're in that part of the alphabet. Okay? I have an intersection now of what? What do we call M, N? They keep going through it. That's a ray. You'll see that. This is ray M, N intersecting with line J, L, right? Okay, so, well, you're close, okay? These are called angles. There are 4 angles in this particular figure. Okay, we'll get the name of them in just a little bit, okay? But for now, let's talk about them. I've got, we'll call it angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4. Now, does that help y'all out? You see the 4 angles, right? There's 4 different angles formed when those intersect, okay? And the vertex is the exact point that they intersect, okay? That exact point. And we will always, I will always use a letter to name that vertex, okay? What's your favorite letter that's not used on the board? E? E? Okay. P? B. Thank you, okay? I can't hear. B. So we'll call this B. The dot right there is represented by B, okay? All right, so we have several ways we could name each of these 4 angles, right? I could name angle 1. Let's just talk about it. Angle 1. I could call it angle 1. And I could leave it at that, and you would know what I'm talking about. It says 1 right there, okay? That's how I'll try and do it. Real simple. I could call it angle MBJ. Angle MBJ. I start at M, I go to B, and then I go to J. Right? I could go the other way. I could call it angle JBM. JBM. Okay? Or I could get really sloppy and just say, oh yeah, angle B. Technically, you can do that. It's very sloppy. Why is that very sloppy? Because angle B could be any of those 4, right? Okay? Angle B could be any of those 4. But like when we add shapes to it, when we put another line here and connect these points and make a triangle, that's what you'll see, okay? You'll see angle B. All right? Well, I've got 4 different ways to name that. What is common? What do you notice is common about each of those 4 ways? They all have B, right? B is my vertex. Okay? Vertex, the middle point, intersection point. All right? Any questions? Really boring, right? Really, really boring. Okay, we had to start somewhere.